Did you know that one of the greatest breakthroughs of the Industrial Revolution, the very technique that powered Britain's global dominance in iron production, may have been stolen? A revolutionary iron method, a British man who took the credit, and a group of enslaved black metallurgists whose names were lost to history. This is the true story of how the modern world was forged in fire and built on a theft that changed everything. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Did You Know feature, where we uncover mind-blowing facts about science, history, and everything in between. Before we dive in, just to let you know that we're seeing that 55% of our viewers who watch our channel regularly have not subscribed to us yet, so we're asking you a favor. Before we start our deep dive, if you like us and want to support us, there's a free and simple way to do that. Just hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out when we put out new videos. We assure you that we will commit to bringing you the best videos each week. We also crave your feedback and suggestions as we aim to give you the best content possible. And now on to our feature story. In 1783, a British man named Henry Cort filed a patent that would earn him a place in history. He introduced a technique known as puddling, a method of stirring molten pig iron in a furnace to remove impurities. This produced a stronger, more flexible form of wrought iron, ideal for building bridges, machines, ships, and the railways that would reshape Europe. The following year, he patented a complementary rolling technique to turn the purified iron into bars. Together, these two methods, puddling and rolling, triggered a revolution in iron production. Cort's process replaced older, labor-intensive techniques. It was faster, cheaper, scalable. Historians would later call Henry Cort the father of the modern iron industry. His method paved the way for the mass production of iron and helped make Britain the first industrial superpower. But what if Cort didn't invent it? Let's leave England for a moment and sail 4,600 miles southwest to the island of Jamaica. In the late 1700s, Jamaica was a British colony and a brutal hub of plantation slavery. But hidden in the hills near Morant Bay, something extraordinary was happening. An ironworks was operating there, run not by British engineers, but by a group of 76 black metallurgists, most of them enslaved. These workers weren't just swinging hammers. They were experts, skilled artisans brought from West and Central Africa, regions renowned for advanced iron smelting long before Europeans arrived. And at this Jamaican forge, they were producing high-quality wrought iron, using techniques strikingly similar to the ones Cort would later patent in England. How do we know? Because even their plantation owner John Reeder admitted it. In letters and colonial records, he described himself as ignorant of the business, and credited his black workers with full command of every branch of the iron manufactory. They were taking old, poor-quality scrap iron and refining it into strong, valuable metal, using methods that Cort would soon claim as his own. So, how did the techniques from a Jamaican forge end up in a British patent office? The answer may lie in family. Henry Cort's cousin was deeply involved in Caribbean trade, and frequently traveled between England and Jamaica. According to new research by historian Dr. Jenny Bulstrode of University College London, this cousin had direct contact with Jamaican plantations, including the one near Morant Bay. What's more, in 1782, around the time Cort began developing his process, the Jamaican ironworks was dismantled. The tools, the equipment, and the knowledge vanished from the island. Where did it go? According to shipping records, the machinery was loaded onto a British naval vessel and brought back to England. Soon after, Cort filed his first patent. Coincidence or quiet theft? The evidence strongly suggests that what Cort called invention may actually have been appropriation. This isn't just a story about Jamaica. To understand how these techniques emerged, we have to go even further back, across the Atlantic, to West Africa. Long before European colonization, African societies had developed sophisticated ironworking traditions, In places like present-day Nigeria, Cameroon, and Ghana, blacksmiths and metallurgists were forging tools, weapons, and ritual items with techniques passed down over centuries. These weren't primitive practices. In some regions, African smelters achieved temperatures and efficiencies rivaling, and sometimes exceeding, European methods. When people were kidnapped and enslaved during the transatlantic slave trade, they didn't just lose their freedom. They brought with them knowledge, agricultural, architectural, medical, and metallurgical. In the brutal conditions of Caribbean plantations, that expertise became a hidden asset. Many enslaved Africans were assigned to forges where they applied their inherited knowledge to local materials and adapted traditional techniques to new settings. That's what happened in Jamaica, and it worked. So well, in fact, that British colonial administrators took notice. They marveled at the skill of black ironworkers, but didn't ask questions about where the techniques came from, or who deserved the credit. Instead, they took what they saw and brought it back to Britain. For over 200 years, the history books praised Henry Cort. He was remembered as a visionary, a genius, a symbol of British innovation during the Industrial Revolution. But history is written by the powerful, and in the 18th century, enslaved Africans had no voice in the courts, no rights to intellectual property, and no place in Britain's story of scientific progress. Their labor was documented, their suffering recorded in ledgers, but their genius, ignored. The Jamaican ironworks was buried in archives, its workers forgotten, its techniques renamed and repackaged, and Henry Cort, he got the credit, the patents, and the prestige. It wasn't until the 21st century, thanks to researchers digging through colonial archives, shipping logs, and military records, that the truth began to surface. In 2023, Dr. Jenny Bulstrode published groundbreaking research connecting the dots between Jamaican metallurgists and Cort's so-called invention. Her work shook the academic world. It made headlines in The Guardian and was featured by NPR, BBC, and universities across the globe. Why? Because it challenged one of the foundational myths of the Industrial Revolution, that British ingenuity alone powered the age of machines. Bulstrode's research forced us to confront a darker reality. That colonial exploitation wasn't just about labor, it was about stealing knowledge. And if we want to understand how the modern world was really built, we have to face that truth. This story isn't just about the past, it's about how we remember the past. For every great inventor celebrated in textbooks, how many unnamed contributors were erased? How many brilliant ideas, born under oppression, were quietly claimed by those with power? When we erase these histories, we do more than ignore injustice. We limit our understanding of where innovation truly comes from. The Industrial Revolution wasn't purely a British achievement. It was a global event, fueled by ideas, labor, and technologies that crossed oceans, sometimes by force. Acknowledging that doesn't diminish progress. It deepens it. It gives credit where it's due, and it allows us to build a future that finally honors the past, fully. So now you know that the secret to Britain's industrial power might not have been British at all. It might have been forged by enslaved black metallurgists in Jamaica, whose hands shaped the world, even if history forgot their names. If you found this story powerful, eye-opening, or long overdue, hit that like button, share it, and subscribe for more hidden truths from the past. Leave a comment below. What other inventions or breakthroughs do you think have untold origins? Because here on Did You Know, we believe history is full of secrets, and it's time to uncover them.